Well,
Hi, George.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, George. How are you? Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Anyone who has any comments on book review?
Which
Millionaire. Brain Tracy.
So, Isha ji can contribute from your SMB. How you are becoming millionaire there?
big deal. No, I'm just watching all of y'all becoming millionaires.
But some at least contribute 2 minutes on not necessarily book if you have not gone through the book.
No,
but,
I haven't.
Just 2 minutes. How you are getting feels of SMB?
I'm learning a lot of things which I didn't know before.
Okay.
Which is very, very, very essential. I know that, but I hadn't been uh, in the field of wanting a lot in the first place.
Okay.
So I didn't much care for joining this or whatever. But then once I started, I realized there's a lot more to this than just wanting to be a millionaire. The makings of a millionaire, how to go about it, and so forth. It's quite nice to know. Not that I want to become a millionaire, not that I want to amass a whole lot of wealth, not at this stage of life, because how much of it can I enjoy? So, and so that's why I've just left it, so to speak. But believe me, to youngsters, this is a heaven sent opportunity for them to make as much money as they can and so forth. I am here, I mean, to make a little money, not too much, little, yes, but I don't want to become a millionaire, so to say. I don't know how much time I will have to enjoy the wealth if I do make it. But I do wish it, I do wish it on others, yes.
Every
Maybe
day is a fresh day. Every year is a fresh year. So
now
you
every
have
day.
sufficient time. Why you think you don't have time?
No, this is a bonus for me. God's giving me a bonus. So I'm living on the bonus, quite happy, very contentedly.
Very good.
But
Very good.
I'd love to know more about things. Information, I would love to know more. So I'm gathering, though of course our feed tells us there's no point in you amassing all this knowledge. It's of use, no use. True. But I think I can tell my son when I go to meet him.
Definitely. It's not only for you. You can pass it on to people who can use it.
Yes, that's right.
And they don't have time or they don't spend time, but you can learn and tell them.
Yes, exactly.
That is what actually that is what book is also telling you, that you should have a habit of learning and then apply. Apply does not mean you do buy for yourself. Apply means either you apply to your practical knowledge or you teach to others and they apply is the same thing.
Yes.
So action is there.
I would like to get more people interested in this so that they can, and particularly in today's world, look at the war. Don't know where our money is going, how soon it will be deflated so badly that we'll have to scrape it off the floor. You know, there won't be any exchange value if this war continues. Already the rupee has gone down against the dollar, against the Canadian dollar, etc. I mean, I'm not into making money, but I do keep in touch with all this. So I can tell my children that.
So any practical advice, one advice, practical?
Practical advice, I would say, learn how to do this properly and don't go all out and jump and think you can make this money overnight and try that, because then you're going to fall flat. Take it easy and build up your money little by little, and you will get there, wherever it is. And then if you have a windfall and something happens, yes, like if you get into Bitcoin and all the others, yes, those are avenues where you can make a lot of money quickly, but not otherwise. Just now, Rajiv, I've just went through two people. One, he was giving, you put $250, and in one day he will make it to $2,500. Did you see that? Did you see that?
No, I have not seen that.
It's on Facebook. It's on Facebook. You'll see. It's trading. They are doing it. I looked at it. I said, okay, I don't have to for $150. Thank you.
No, don't look for those kind of options.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
then-
Arfin will not do lectures. He will just go and put money in 250,000 there and then make 2 billion one day. So there's no problem.
It's true. And there was another person also. It was also trading.
But
And
I can assure you, no one can give you in any kind of trading or cryptocurrency 250 to 2,500. It's all
I know.
bullshit. Not possible.
That's why I stayed away. I'm saying I
No.
read all this.
Yes,
I
yes,
take it
yes.
all in. I take it all in, but I don't fall for it.
Yeah, that's okay. So we don't go into means this kind of options on internet at all.
Hmm.
But what SMB will be giving you maybe some tested options, but they cannot be this much. So which is fine. So those options you can explain to your family members, and small amounts you can do their investments. Right. So
Yeah.
George, you have any comment on book?
No,
No,
because
actually, I didn't go through. I didn't go through. I'm very sorry about it.
Okay. I think there's no problem.
I think I feel that none of you want to become a millionaire.
No, all want to become millionaire by listening, not by reading.
I don't want to become a millionaire, frankly speaking, but I want to become a multi-millionaire.
Oh.
That's a good definition.
that's a better one.
Okay, so let us start today. Today we are in the last week of our mastermind. We have completed 11 weeks. Today we are on 12th week. How to behave and think like a wealthy person.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
Yes, you start then. Let us divide into two. First, we talk about think what wealthy people are thinking, and then how they behave. So there are two parts. Let us start on thinking. How wealthy people thinks. We can note down how when we see behaviors.
Well, let me tell you, wealthy people depends on what kind of wealth and how they became wealthy. If they have their
No, let us talk about if they have wealth, how they think. It's not necessarily how they became wealthy.
Because then their thinking is different.
That's okay. So when you are wealthy, what is your thinking?
So next, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello.
Thanks. Bye. Thanks, Atan. Bye. All the best.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, Ishaji, continue.
You see, oh, okay. Now, once upon a time, I too was wealthy. You understand?
Yes.
Then I can tell you what I was thinking. I didn't think very much on how I spent the money or whether to save it or not. If I went shopping, I just bought what I liked, no matter what the cost, and carried on. I mean, all wealthy people I know do that. Not because they do that, I did that, but it was just natural. Yeah, I never argued for the price or anything. I saw something, yes, I can have that, buy it, no matter what the cost. That's the way, and when you behave also, you will try to keep up with all the wealthy people. Your circumstances will be within a wealthy circle. Your friends will all be wealthy. You will be members of these high flighty clubs. and things. You see, and of course, your clothes and all, etc., will be designer clothes.
Let us talk about how they think, not the result of thinking. So this is
Okay.
what you are saying is results of thinking. So one you are saying is they stop negotiating. This is not correct.
No, they don't negotiate. Just give and carry on. Why do you want to negotiate?
No. You know, if you don't negotiate, you will start losing your wealth.
No.
So they become
What?
more shrewd and more
Yes,
negotiable
they negotiate more.
in terms of where they are building wealth. But for day-to-day consumption, it may be possible that they stop bargaining on small things to save time. And then they bargain on big things where they can get more and spend less time.
Like I told you, I don't know much about this business. All this thing I didn't know. So I went ahead. I didn't negotiate. I carried on. So that's the difference, because nobody told us all this in the beginning. You had money, spend it. Not lavishly for nothing, but whatever you wanted, you had it without bargaining for it.
So what definitely wealthy people do is they don't spend on consumption, but they do more investments.
Okay. On that level, that's
This is
different.
for sure they think more.
Yes. So that's why I said, depends on how they got their money, then they will think in those terms. If they made it through trading, then they will be all the time thinking of, okay, where can I invest it next to get more out of it? Where can I put it where I would not have any problems with it?
Yes.
Things like that.
So Monica ji, you have.
Yeah, I think apart from what he said, I think they have a bigger picture in their mind in terms of, where life would be in 5 years and how they would have to manage it. In lieu of that, what investments they should be making so that they maintain what they are. Plus, I think because it's a mindset to cross the barriers and to reach that extraordinary level. If they are here and if they want to go there, they try their best to reach the barriers in terms of investment, in terms of money, in terms of opportunities in life.
So what you're saying is they are clear about their short-term goals and long-term goals.
Long-term goals, yes. Very clear.
So, but this is still different thing. In terms of thinking, they think and fix their goals.
They could be dreamers also.
There could be dreamers also. Dreamer, how do you differentiate between dreamer and thinker?
Well, thinking is something rational.
Okay.
Dreaming is something that it's a kind of a wish list.
Okay.
And you need efforts to make your wish list a reality. Not many can do it. We all have a wish list.
So you are saying thinking is like rational and dreaming is like wish list.
Yes, and all big people who, your Warren Buffett, your Disney and all, when they made their goals, they were not realistic.
But then that means they were dreamer.
They were dreamers. They used their imagination. And then they made realistic goals.
Okay. Very good.
How to reach them.
Anything else?
Today they don't think. They've got other people to think for them.
No, they think and appoint people who can give them ideas and use them. So then they are giving options and framework to others to think for them. And once they give you results, then you think on that.
For example, Mukesh Ambani, when he has to start a new project, he appoints a CEO and he says, this is what I'm looking at. This is the return that I want. You take all the paths. You make the goals, you do the planning, but this is what I want from this project.
That's it. Make other people think.
Yeah. Other people think, do the work. You give them the goal, the mission, the vision, your vision.
You think on vision and they think on implementing your vision.
Yes.
Anything else Jyoti ma'am?
Yeah, one second. So it depends on what kind of money is it. If it is new money, or it is money which is coming from generations where
Yeah, this is what I was studying
they
from.
have grown up with those concepts of abundance and all.
Yeah,
So a lot of people who have new money, they have a tendency to flaunt in terms of lifestyle,
yeah.
or a lot of showing around their wealth.
Hmm.
So, for example, these sharings would be there on WhatsApp about Bill Gates going to some restaurant and he had to give some tips to the staff there. So he gave some X amount and he was questioned that your daughter, when she visits, she gives some NX amounts. So he said that it is me who has earned and she is Bill Gates' daughter. So she doesn't have any kind of inhibition sharing more amount, bigger
Exactly.
amount.
Hmm.
So it all depends. Whereas in India, if we see, so on one hand, families like wealthy families like Ambani, they have a lot of thinking thought process in their mind when they're investing. On the other hand, when they spend, they are still lavish in their lifestyles. For example, their residence itself is like a 5-star hotel. So 5 people living in that building and 650 attendants are there to take care of the building. So it all depends on their priorities, how they want to spend and how they want to invest. Whereas in West, if you see, there is not too much of flaunting, and so they are majorly into planning and investing.
Correct. So, anything else? George, you have some inputs?
I should say that I just start with where Monica has stopped regarding the Bill Gates' daughter. Why, when I was coming up as a teenager, my father used to say something like that, when the Henry Ford, when he was traveling in the sense when he's in a lift, he used to give 50 cents or 10 cents to the lift operator. So once he said that your father is, you are giving this, but your son is giving me $1. Then he said, I'm the son of a poor man, whereas he is not. So what I want to say is that maybe the same same story, people always change into their own way.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is what exactly millionaires think, and they act. I know a lot of people whom we consider they are really poor, but they are not. But they will never show that they are.
Yes.
I don't know whether you agree or not.
Yes,
And vice versa. There are a lot of people, they are really poor, but they will show that they are rich.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of that, they want to show off. And it cannot go for a long. Because before
But
that,
this is, George, this is like this example of Bill Gates and this son. These are the behaviors of those people, whether they are rich or not, I don't know. But this can be like anybody who has a behavior or attitude to think he is obliged by liftman and he is willing to give him something. And his daughter is giving something different in terms of amount is different. But this is like their behavior. This is not their thinking of showing richness or not showing richness.
No, I said that the story is almost the thread is same.
I agree.
People change. Somebody will say that Swaminatha said that, someone will say that Vivekananda said that, but the story is same.
Correct.
And recently, I'm not going to divert. Recently, Lata Mangeshkar passed away, correct?
Yes.
So a lot of things were there going around like that. She said that I was flying from this one to this. Now I'm in so many stories. And I don't know whether you read that, something like that. She said that these are the last days. There is no need for making money. And I had bungalows, but now I'm living in a hospital where so many things. Now, what I want to say is that this is actually, before that, somebody sent me about, I forgot, that an advertising star in Europe or in America, same story, but there with a picture, here without a picture. So somebody sent to me, I said back this one saying that this is the same thing. They have just translated from English to Malayalam, nothing else. So don't believe that. So this one is, though people whom I have seen, they are very rich, but they behave very decent, very, very pleasing.
Yeah.
And they will
Exactly.
never show that they are rich.
Correct.
And so, I mean, this is what I have seen in many people, I know that. Okay. And you know what happened is that the people are not able to find out that early. Sometimes they really, maybe the rich people, the rich person will not say anything, but the other person whom you perceive as like this will have a wrong signal. And an example here, there is a person whom I know, he's a multi-millionaire in Kerala.
Okay.
He's a good friend of mine. And fortunately, unfortunately, we have the same name. His name is also George Thomas. Okay.
Okay.
And then what happened is that we became friends almost 20 years before. And I have traveled with him. I have so many things, and I don't know what is the reason. He trusts me a lot.
Okay.
And there's no reason for that. And one time we were talking something like that. Then he said, George, I have checked you in some other way. And I found that, I'm not flattering myself, found that you are very honest and sincere. I said, what? What happened? One day he called me to his office. Said, George, I am busy because our office is very close by. I need to send some money immediately to home for some work purpose, not that his family is here. And he gave me some money in a packet. I just took to the exchange and gave this money, sent this money. I was surprised that was equivalent amount of 12 lakhs. I'm talking about almost 18 years before. We have just started 12 lakhs amount. So I gave that one, and there was some change. They returned to me. And then I said, I called him, I already sent, but I'm busy. I'll come next time and I'll give the paper and the change. He said, no problem. Then I called him later. He said that I already got the message that is already credited. And another thing, a small thing, this is what the help, according to me, the rich people do that. He called me and said he gave me an expensive watch. Because we are very close friends, you know. George, I need a strap for this. So I took this one. It seems to be very simple, or maybe you may think that, why did I do that? So that's my dedication to it. So I went to a shop and there is no suitable. At last I got a suitable, this one as a strap. And I fixed that and bring back to him. And he asked me a question, how much you paid for this? I said, because of my association with that, they did not charge anything. They gave me free of cost, even though it doesn't belong to me. And he was surprised. So he said that, oh, that means I got it free. I said, yes. But actually he was checking that in an indirect way, whether I take some money for this. But I said, no, I don't want it because it is free. So this is the way they actually behave. And I also do the same thing in some cases, not that I am rich, but just to make things clear for the others. You check it or you cross-check it, or by observation, you can find out whether he is a multimillionaire or an ordinary person. This is what my findings. As I told you before, I observe things very clearly. This is what I have found it.
Correct.
Whether you agree or not, I'm not sure.
No, this is fine. So let us talk about, in principle, wealthy person will think like a selfish or think for others.
Rajesh, if I might just give you my perspective.
Yes, David.
Okay.
I think a bit different, probably because of the way my brain has been washed. To me, true wealth is not a matter of bank accounts or assets.
That's another story.
It is the value we live and share as we touch people's life. Now, when you accumulate wealth, there are two forms. One is tangible and the other is intangible. What we've been addressing so far is on the tangible wealth. And unfortunately, many people come short of that primarily because they do not know how to amass past a certain point.
Hmm.
If you have built your bank account based on your intangibles, that's what Apin talks about in his SMB, inside out development. If you build that first, which is what the likes of Andrew Carnegie points out as an example, wealth is not to feed our ego, but to feed the hungry and to help others help themselves. And the same messages is flaunted in other ways, even by our friend Mahatma Gandhi, where he talks about it. It's what you do and reach out. The same in another way spoken by Mother Teresa. So my whole perspective of wealth, I'll be very frank with you, as a certified practicing accountant, making fairly good money from Australia, decided, because we had amassed enough, we decided to park it. And I was commuting back and forth to India for the last 22 years. And in the course of doing that, have been fortunate enough to see other people accumulate and amass wealth because of the fundamentals that were passed on to them. And today their kids, some of them are in South America, some of them are in North Europe, but what they are doing is they're utilizing the intangible to build the tangible. Say, rather than come from the other angle, my thought process is, if you learn how to create the value system, it automatically amasses to you, but you need to know how to think. You need to know how to build this. It doesn't come any other way. It is not from the right hand to the left, it's the other way around. And unfortunately, the system that we are taught today, in fact, I was talking with an individual early this morning. We are taught not this concept of delayed gratification. We are taught the concept, okay, I got to put, like you just mentioned, one of the ladies mentioned earlier, I put something in within a week or so, I get $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. It doesn't work that way. Curd takes 24 hours to mature. A baby takes 9 months to gestate. So people got to understand the whole concept of wealth accumulation comes from the other side. When we think the other way and start building our goodness, start building our value systems, like what Carnegie pointed out, Andrew Carnegie pointed out. And when we realize that, for some reason, wealth comes to us in abundance. It's not magic. Wealth is the product of a man's capacity to think. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, David. Any other? What I was asking is like a question. Wealthy people thinks like a selfish person or thinks like a helping others?
It depends, like what Jyoti said, it depends on their upbringing and how they have been trained to do that. The new money, most of them do not think that way. The old money, a big percentage of them thinks that way because they want to help people, then they go ahead and get the other. So it's whether you've got new money or old money.
Exactly.
And another yes or no is wealthy people depends on actions or they depends on luck?
Action. Actions. Actions. It's all about
actually wealth creation is all about action.
Actions.
And definitely I really appreciate what David has put. You know, the non-tangibles, if they are intact, you can create tangible things within no time. I mean, you can use your non-tangible assets and create tangible ones.
Tangible
So
ones.
that is very important.
Correct.
And it's all again perspective of the wealthy people, how they look at others. Some people think that, okay, this wealth has come out of my efforts, but if I contribute to the society, if that is a part in their life, then they will go ahead and look at what others need. Otherwise, there are people who keep accumulating, and they keep looking at their wealth growing and don't bother about others.
And have no time to spend.
And they see, they will become sick. They are happy looking at the bank account.
Yeah.
What
The
is
numbers.
what is the root cause of all evils? It is wealthy people or it is the poor people?
No, it is what
Mindset.
has been their mental conditioning right in the childhood,
Yes.
and whatever is a learning from there, that is the root of all. If they see some, if they have some experience, so they will look like that.
So is wealth can remove those evil effects or not?
Wealth as such cannot, but attitude can. If the person gets some proper coach, if he comes across somebody who instills this wisdom in him, then definitely he will come to understand his real worth, because money is not the real worth. Contribution is the real worth. Ability to contribute.
And that's one of the reasons why you do not see in the average goal setting segments that most people do a goal that is expressed in the form of contributionary goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very few people understand that concept, and very few organizations utilize that concept. They run under the banner of CSR, but they do not understand this concept. And so what they do is, we better do something to give here, give there for publicity. It does not in any way benefit them. But if they work and line it back to their vision and mission and core value, and then they start pushing it out, you see there'll be a whole dynamic shift in the organization. The same would apply with a person. You need to look at your value, your core, and where your direction is. And once you get your VMS right, the rest of all falls into place.
Exactly, David. Beautiful.
So, Mr. Prabhu, wisdom comes first or wealth come first?
Wisdom.
I think I think if you do not have wisdom, you'll never spend money for others. You'll never.
No, spending money for others is a different question. I'm saying wealthy people do have wisdoms, or still there can be a person with wealth and no wisdom.
I tell you, there can be person with wealth and no wisdom.
No wisdom, yes.
There can
So
be
it
person,
depends.
and I tell you, I mean, this question will not stand, because wealth and wisdom comes with experience. Wisdom comes with, when you learn something. Wisdom comes when you observe something from outside, inside. Then only wisdom comes.
But
wealth is another.
Wisdom can help in staying wealthy or not?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So wisdom is important to develop at any point of time, whether you become rich first or you get wisdom first, then you get wealthy.
See, I think when you talk about wisdom, in fact, the gratitude part in life is a part coming from wisdom. You will not be in position to express your gratitude, because you have to understand, you are zero. You have been enabled. You have been enabled by whom? We call him God. So at least be grateful to the person, be grateful to the being who has enabled you to acquire wealth or do whatever you are doing. So the moment you accept that I have to express my gratitude, that is a part of wisdom.
Yeah.
Correct.
I would like to say something with this,
Yes,
about children from school. should be taught all this from school. There's many of them are not rich, many of them are very rich, etc. But this is something, the vocabulary just now, what David was using, like vision, mission, and all that. It comes only when you are coming into this field, you know. Now, or if you're working in an MNC and things like that, then there is etc. But these are not things with the children coming out of school ever hear about. They don't know. No. If they did, and if they were taught from there, they would pick up some wisdom along even before they are old enough to start making their wealth. But now,
who in entire life, where do you have goals? It is in school only. Every year, you know, you have to pass. So there is a clear goal.
Yeah.
You're spending 1 year to achieve that goal. So it is like practical training in schools to achieve that, but maybe it is not put in the words.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's no question of wisdom anywhere there. That these are things that should be taught at school. They should know what is wisdom, what it is to become wise, and how to spend their money properly. Maybe their pocket money, but even that, you know, how to spend it and so forth. Then from little things, they learn bigger things.
Yeah,
But
so
wisdom-
financial literacy should be taught in
Financial literacy is another one thing, and wisdom is one thing. But you cannot say that wisdom is not being taught in schools. Wisdom is taught in schools to make your characteristics as a gentle person, but not necessarily how to become wealthy is not being taught in the schools.
No, for anything, there should be a little bit of wisdom somewhere. They should be taught what it is to be.
So tell me from your experience, what are the 5 things of wisdom you would like to teach students in school?
Life skills.
Yeah, go ahead.
Life skills are, you know, life skills are not taught in family, each family.
No, it is different. It is different mindset.
And can I just butt in here? For 20 plus years working with corporate India, this has been their problem.
Yeah.
What they have been complaining about all along, our schools have been given, and in fact, quite a few of them have categorically mentioned engineering degrees that they come out with is not worth the paper it's written on, primarily because they are not channeled into practical application of it. I had the privilege of working with 40 top corporate companies that had IIT graduates in there. And they are from Kanpur, Chennai, Kharagpur, all of these top colleges. All of them, when they were recruited, had to sign a paper that they would go through 6 months of induction before they were assimilated back into the system of that company. In addition to that 6 months, 3 months was allocated to what Jyoti just mentioned. They call it behavioral psych. And in some cases, they call it emotional intelligence. And we were going right across the platform, indicating to them what is it. Simple things such as a value system as you need to care for your neighbor. You need to care for the opposite sex. Some of the guys came up with such insulting comments. Why should I care for that woman?
Yes. Yes.
Because they were brought up that way. And they are IIT graduates, for crying out loud.
Yes. That's true.
It's very true. That's what
They are
Teaching mindset, you are saying, should be one of the subject in the schools.
And even life skills. They have no idea how to manage themselves, how to manage their teams. What they are good is finding solutions.
But you are not making leaders, means if 100% are not leaders.
No, but you know, as you go up the hierarchy, they start as a software engineer, then they become a team leader, then they become a product manager. So basically, when they're product manager, the mindset is same as that of a fresher of somebody who's just come out.
This I
In terms of
agree.
people management skills.
This I agree. What you are saying is, if somebody is reaching to a stage of company where he becomes a leader
Yes.
in 20-25 years, then this problem will come. But
Sir,
today,
not 20-25 years. Today they become product manager after 5 years. If they are from IITs, IIMs, 5 years is what is required.
if they
I
are,
was with a US based company, 5 years.
if they have not studied leadership in IIM, then they are not leader at all.
No,
But IIM is all about leadership.
It is about leadership, but still, you know, that is theory. Application is totally different.
Basically,
Unfortunately,
evolution is not there. Whatever they are
yes.
studying theoretically, they are not
Not
applying. So
theoretical.
evolution is not
No
there.
application, no application of anything.
Yes.
See,
let me just give you a case study so you can relate to where I'm coming from. I had the privilege in 2018 or 17, I can't recall which year in there, to take 22 CEOs from different companies to a place called Kathmandu in Nepal, in the 7-star Crown Hotel. Now, we were putting them through a 3-day induction, heavy, intense EQ program. One of the key elements that came out of that, very simply, was even to teach them basic etiquettes of how to use a toilet, how to consider the wet toilet and the dry toilets. There were situations where a case of one individual, without even knowing, took a shower outside the bath and wet the whole room, and he had to be moved to another location. Now, these are just simple cases that when you're in the field, you get to know this.
Yes.
And you actually correct it. Now, the same individual group, 25 of them, they were not even middle managers, Monica. They were CEOs.
Yes.
And they have had something like 20 to 25 years experience, and not any chota chappa company. They are companies such as Vodafone, companies such as what do you call it? Standard Chartered Bank, Banque Nationale Paris. And what I am saying out of that is you find the frustration that some parent corporates face because of the misalignment of the mindset of the locals compared to the foreign etiquette-based leaders. Now, leadership does not come just because you get a label from an institute. Leadership comes, as Jack Welch put it, and I was sitting with him in Hyderabad. He was asked this question: how do you define a leader? And his response was, not all the theories of leadership. He stood on stage and he walked one step and he said, you give. He took another step. You give. He took another step. You give. Until he went to the other end of the room and he looked back at the crowd and he said, what do you do now? And some of them said, you take and you do this. And he said, no, you give. You give like the unconditional love of a mother. That's the sign of a leader. Now, that's not taught in these people.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
So this is like one thing which you would like to teach youngsters before they come into the arena of work. What else?
Before they come
in the wisdom. Yes.
Yes. Isha, tell me.
Before they come to the college level, they should be taught all this. And one of my things was that these high schoolers should be taught how to drink sensibly. You know, when they come into college.
Hello, have you been listening to me or something?
No. These are my own. I'm telling you, David. You know, when these kids come into the high school, into college, they are free. They think they can do anything. The first thing they do is cigarettes, smoking, and they are big shots, and drinking. And then they are sparring with each other to see who would drink the most, and all get into such rotten ways like that.
You cannot, you are not interested to bring a curriculum to teach how to smoke and how to drink.
No, I'm
yeah,
telling
it's
you.
important.
No, but you bring a curriculum, and this happened to me. That's why I was having a dig at Madam just now. There was a group of IT graduates in Chennai. They come from a very poor third level institute, but they were selected by some of the top companies because these kids are brilliant. Intelligence wise, they're brilliant. But unfortunately, they're not taught the right ways to come through.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when you have an abundance of money, they don't know what to do with it.
Yes,
All they
absolutely.
know is to hop on their bike
Yes.
and go to a place called Pondicherry, which is across the border in the French colony, and booze themselves from Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and come back Monday morning to the office totally inebriated. Their eyeballs are poking out red. And some of the top CEOs, Muthu, for example, a very close friend of mine, he runs an organization. He actually takes care of George Bush's wealth in this country, in India. He said, Dave, what can we do? And I'll tell you what we did. We took 22 of them as a pilot study, and I sat with them on their bikes and started to show them what goal setting is, not from, do smart goals or anything. Got on the bikes, showed them properties, showed them land, showed them how to play with stocks and shares, go to the stock exchange floors and show them that, not theory. And then guess what? Out of the 22, 18 of them, by the time they were 30, were crowpatis with a minimum of 2 properties.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, you show and tell. That's what
They're
Saz
powerful
also says.
alternative, yes.
You have to teach them the right characteristics and wisdom. That is
show. Don't just tell you. Show them, and then they will understand.
Correct. So it's like a change in wisdom and thinking instead of just doing what is in front of you. What others are doing, you follow what others are doing. So if out of the group of 22, 2 people are drinking, you give them 1 week together and they all will be drinking.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
If you give them 2 people who are wisely investing, all 20 will be wisely investing in next 1 year. So this is what Arfin also teaches us, circle of influence and friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one other thing is like we used to give my children, my husband and I, both the children, when they were very small, we would give them to drink. And they would say, what is this? I can't spit it out. And then they are, how the hell do you drink this stuff? You know? So we said, that's how it is. So much so, we didn't have a problem with them when they grew. And my husband told them, whenever you want to drink, tell me, I will give you. They said, go with that. We don't want to drink. Forget it. You see, because when you put it into them at the age where they don't like it, believe me, maybe there'll be 1 in a million who will like it at that time. But most of the time, they don't.
They don't.
That time itself, we finish off all that.
That is
how many of you have heard of Tony Robbins?
Yes,
Yeah, I have.
I think we have heard.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins's craving for drinking when he was a little kid got his mother to literally one day come back from work. You know, he came from a very poor, poverty-stricken home and a broken home life. And his mom bought him a 6-pack. He wanted to drink, so his mom gave him a 6-pack, and he took 1 bottle. And she said, "You're not going to stop at 1. You're going to go through the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. By the time he got to the 6th, he was vomiting. And then he said, "Mom, I don't want any more." And he never touched a drink since then.
Yeah. You see, these are some of the hard things that you have to do to people who are in that fix.
Correct. But this has to be done at very early stage.
Very early stage.
Later on, they don't understand this.
Yes, because once they get addicted, then this is a routine for them.
Yeah.
It is happening in Punjab. That's why I'm saying.
So question is like wealthy people assume this as a habit or as a lifestyle? Means as a show.
Sure.
See, if it's old money, they have no such problems.
Yes.
They have grown in that. And they will know what to spend the money on, and they will be taught properly to how to spend the money and so forth and so on. It's the nouveau rich that have the problem.
Okay, so one question more. Yes, David, yes, please.
No, go on.
So I was saying like value of education. when you become
What is-
wealthy, you lose the value of education, or
What
you.
is education? Rajiv, our system of education is not education. It is
No,
the
no, no.
3 R's.
This
The
is.
arithmetic.
I'm talking about reading books. Education means self-education is a continuous process.
Self-education.
No,
That
not in
comes-
schools education. I'm saying when you become rich, you lose the importance of reading books, or you get used to it, reading more.
No, it's only what you like. If you have been used to reading, you will continue no matter whether you're rich, poor, or whatever. That goes on till
But
the
I
day.
Rajiv,
relate you back. I
Yeah.
relate you back to a quotation from Andrew Carnegie. This is because I read a lot. I'm being very honest with you. He puts it out so bluntly. He says, "Wealth is not to feed our egos.
Yes.
Instead, it is to feed our brain."
Yes, exactly.
So it's like continuous learning is
Yeah.
what will enable a wealthy man to not only remain wealthy, but happy as well.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
expands the mind, basically.
Yes.
Knowledge expands the mind.
So, and the selection of books, when you are wealthy, your selection of books changes to mindset, or it remains to like success, still success.
See, it all depends on what kind of a mindset you have. Do you want to grow or not?
No, I'm saying when you know that you are arrogant, when you know that you are not able to donate very well, but you want to know and you want to do more. So how do you change yourself or your mindset to becomes more gratitudable, more more selfless, and for work for others?
Like
Rajiv,
Harshit
I come
said,
from an
around with
angle.
people like that.
Right, Rajiv, I come from an angle. It's not just the books, Rajiv. It's the people you hang out with, which is the power of association. Is the first environment. It's like anything else. Those that come from the cultivation ground of India will understand, unless your ground is well tilled and fallowed, and then you put the fertilizer to feed the soil, no harvest will happen. The same thing. Just because I put a seed and I put one little drop of water on it, having an education is not going to support me. But if I have an environment that's constantly, and that's the power of what we're talking about now, community, masterminds, that's the power that enriches an individual to continuously grow. I know of organizations in the UK and the US where to be part of a mastermind can be anywhere from 50,000 US dollars to 100,000 US dollars. And that's the power of how a mastermind can draw people. Once you get into a mastermind, the next step to ensure is you have a good mentor, somebody who has done the walk and done the talk, not somebody who's just theorized out of YouTubes. And a lot of our young coaches are YouTubers. And unfortunately, I'm being so blunt here because I'm correcting them each time they come to a mastermind. And it's unfortunate that they cannot see it. They don't want to go out and practice. When I said I was so shy to talk, and I said one of my coaches, John Grinder, got me a dog to sit in front of me, and I practiced my presentation, my NLP presentation, in front of a dog for 9 hours at night. So next morning, I could do a delivery for him. And that's the power of what we talk about in a mentor.
I have one more question. Like
That's
mentor,
really very powerful.
Mr. David has been telling about mentor. So if poor person gets mentor, can he become rich? Or if wealthy people leave mentors, can he become poor?
No, not that way. If a poor person gets a mentor and mentors him on how to create wealth, like you're doing, yes, that guy will get wealthy. Believe me, he just needs a push from somewhere, someone to help him. There are lots of people like that.
Okay.
They don't have the opportunity.
And reverse, if wealthy persons has mentors and he leaves mentors, what will happen? He will still remain wealthy, or he can go to poor?
Oh, he will get wealthier.
He will get wealthier without mentor.
No, with mentors.
No, I'm saying wealthy person was having mentor and he became rich. Now he leave mentors. So can he stay wealthy or he will become poor in some period of time?
Not really. I mean, after having mentors for that much time and he's made money, he should have picked up some wisdom of maintaining his money.
Oh, so maintaining is possible, but growing. So will he be able to grow, or he will still need a mentor of different level to grow?
No. Depends on him. If he has learned anything from his mentor, he will grow.
Mr. David, what is your say on this?
Well, I believe strongly in mentorship. And I keep telling all my programs that I attend, that's why I'm so stupid, because I had to have 14 mentors in my journey. And I spent a lot of money. Then I finish off by saying stupid people get paid very well too. Now, the key element here is a wisdom that my dad taught me. The day you stop learning is the day you die.
Yeah.
So I need to attach myself to a mentor right through. And I have the tools. The tools are the books, the CDs, and all of the podcasts, all of that. But the mentor gives you a different flavor. And so when I joined Afin in 2018, many asked that question. You've already made yourself, why are you here? And I said, because Afin can teach me something. He taught me a lot to play on stage, and all of the things that you see is a product of Afin. Mine was just corporate. He shifted me around. That's the power of a mentor. Now, does he still coach me? Yes. Why am I hanging out? So I never would give up a person. Am I still in touch with my first guru, Jerry Ramsbottom, who taught me from a corporate life how to live and deal with some of the Asian country people? Yes. Though that guy is in his 90s, he and I have a chat once a month. John Grinder, Carmel Bostic. Do I keep in touch with them? Yes. Why? Because the wisdom that John, just one word, his linguistic ability is so powerful. I give credit to everything that I know and speak about to John. His linguistic ability is that immaculate that I want to just soak everything up. So I spent 20 to 40 minutes on a call with him. So do I have a mentor? Yes.
After a stage when mentor is with you for, let us say, 1 year, and you have acquired whatever he was able to teach you, and you have raised your level. So now, if you want to go to a different level, can same mentor work, or you really need a person who has been walking or talking at the level above what you are now? Means we keep on, I'm not saying removing mentors. After some time, mentor becomes our friends. So they will always be part of our circle. But if you are at a stage like Mr. David, this question is for you. You, as you are saying, you have 22 mentors, but all of them you did not start it together. So they keep on adding in your life. Is it correct or not?
Yes, Rajiv. I didn't have 22. I had 14.
Okay, 14. But they all did not came together in life.
Let me just add to what you're just saying. Yeah, you keep changing and you keep upgrading your mentors. Mentors also have the emotional competency. Listen to the word I'm using. The emotional competency to understand as a person grows, he needs to reach out elsewhere. And he will fall back to you for areas that you can support him. Now, a lot of the guys that I had been mentors for, CEOs or even middle managers, they still keep in touch with me. When they want to change a job, they ring me. Now, do I charge them for that? No, because they've already become a friend, but they have their own mentors currently. So you do move on to other mentors. You do upgrade your skills by doing that, but you also would remember and give credit for where you have got your prime skills. So that's why I constantly make reference to Afin. I constantly make reference to John Grinder for all of the things that they have given me to get to where I am.
Very good. So this point, what I was trying to say is 90% people don't have mentors. Only 10% people understands the importance of having mentors in life.
Yeah.
Mentors are like not necessarily making you wealthy, but together with you, they are contributing to your mindset, to your questions, like questions which you always remain unanswered with you. Mentors can always help you to get correct answers of those questions, which can help you improve your life, your mindset. Then definitely you will get wisdom, and wisdom will be converted into wealth.
Rajiv, see, this is another thing that children from school should be taught, that they should look for mentors.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree.
Yes.
Our culture does not have it. You
Our
see?
culture had it, like we always say, Guru bina gyan nahi. But
Yeah.
then right people should be available, they should be in front
Yes.
of you. That is
Yeah.
another thing.
See, very few people have these gurus. Look at our population at large. It's not something small.
But
And the only way you can get the masses is through school.
Isha, what I'm trying to say now here is like schools, teachers are your mentor because they are teaching you different way of life.
Yeah, they don't know.
This is a big question, but they teach you subjects, so not necessarily personal development, which definitely sports is there, extra curriculum activities are there. Children are spending much more time now, means it is changing. Earlier, I say 10 years before it was not there, but now school's curriculum has changed. So they have equal contribution towards sports, towards debates, towards communication improvement, towards skills, other than what you need for subjective knowledge. But definitely what we are saying is earlier Guru was teaching, grooming you in every area of life.
So internal growth is not happening.
Internal growth in terms of other than subject is not happening, or it is happening at different pace for different children. Some children are able to adopt good practices within the same teachers, and others are not able to adopt because of the difference in environment at home. School environment is the same for all children, but home environment is different.
Yes.
So those who has good environment at home, they get good wisdoms from home. They apply it together with the school wisdom, and then they become wisdom. Means they get some more wisdom. But it is like a continuous process. It is not like a subject which can be taught in a day.
It's true. That's what I'm saying. So many things have to be taught from the bottom.
Earlier,
Yes.
moral science used to be a subject. Now they have removed
Oh,
that also.
yes, that also is there.
So there's so much difference nowadays when I see kids outside, the amount of bullying that's going on.
Ah,
Yesterday also I had to fight a battle with a set of kids.
see, this way, why should they bully? They should be taught not to bully. I mean,
That's what.
bullying has been there from time immemorial.
Mhm.
You know?
But Aisha, this bullying has been in the schools, in the college, and all the places. However, in the school, they teach people, the kids, that not to bully. They try to, educate them. But still, everywhere, some students you will always find they love bullying. You can't stop them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
only
they are
because of
supported in a wrong
psychological
way.
differences in them, Prabhu. You know, I have taught over how, I don't know how many thousand students I have taught. I know you get all those bullies, you just talk to them nicely. Finished. I had them eating out of my hand, you know, and stop their bullying and all the rest of it. But today's the teachers are not interested in taking them in hand like that, showing them a bit of love and affection. They come from backgrounds with no love and affection. And that's when they think,
Bullying.
"Okay, I can become a stalwart by bullying kids."
Hmm.
But if people took that, the teachers who go for teacher training, they should also be taught all this first. And then
And
they,
the teachers are taught compassion. Teachers
uh,
are taught patience, how to deal with kids in
yeah.
a loving way, and
Mm.
still getting the things done. So if they have those kind of technique or art, then only they will practice. Otherwise, they come, they will give they start with if you have not done something, they will blame the kid,
Yes,
blame
yes.
me, then
It's very sad. Very sad.
threatening
Yeah.
that I will cut your marks, you will not allow you to pass. All
Yeah.
those things also
Yes.
hamper the
Very,
students'
very
mind.
sad. Very sad.
Any other thing which we would like to change in the curriculum of schools to become wealthy?
Imbibe good qualities, imbibe wisdom. Let them learn all the basics of the etiquettes, the manners, the compassion. Let them create all these things, the core, these values. If a school can allow the kids to grow with this, I think wealth is going to be a byproduct.
Ritual education is necessary.
I tell you, recently, let me share one thing. Sadhguru was training his some kids for martial arts or dance and all things. See, he told that they have been practicing from 4 o'clock morning till 5 hours, 6 hours, and continues for years and years. Now these people have become a complete dancer, a complete musician, and when they go all out, what kind of performance they will have? And then once you have that kind of performance, wealth creation is a byproduct. Wealth creation, you get name, fame, and wealth. But if you are average Joe, even at that level, so you will remain, even earning also will be average. So that upbringing right in the school time, if it is of that standard, if they really get to that level, I think a lot of difference will come.
If we know core values are not more than, let us say, 10 or 12, which should be embedded in everyone. So do we agree, or do we have different numbers? Like it can be 100. Core values can be 100, or core values are 10 or 12.
No, no. It can be any number. It just depends on how you're brought up at home.
No, I'm saying if I start writing a book on core values, so how many core values I will select? 10, 12, or hundreds?
That's a good question.
I just want to know how many of us are in
I-
consensus with core values.
See, I tell you one thing, for your
I'll
own
just
core
share.
values, if you touch, you can bring it down to 5, 6, and maximum 10. And for practicing in life, but you can touch hundreds of, there are, see, in Arfin's, this thing, you have got more than 300 core values.
No, core, these are core values which he says about base values. Baseline.
Baselines are different.
Baselines are, it's a different word for core values.
So it's the same,
Your
like core
baseline.
values.
Yeah, it's a baseline. See, what is love? If your love is your baseline, what is baseline? It's a core value. Your core value or your baseline.
So if I say that, let us say these all, if we take all basic values of Arfin, let us say they are 400. So if we have a book which has 400 values and examples of those 400 values, and if it becomes a part of curriculum at the level of 6th or 7th standard, so will it be useful to make wealth in future or not?
Of course.
If the kids are taught to choose or figure out their core values at an appropriate age, and if they keep practicing those core values, or exhibiting those core values in their life, I think that can make a lot of difference, because every individual will have a different core values or baselines.
Core values, we should not choose. Core value we should adopt.
I think first you need to choose, then you adopt. I mean,
But
this
how
is what
you,
I
if it is a core value for one, how it cannot be a core value for second?
Baselines are slightly different from core values. Suppose my baseline is cleanliness, so it cannot be a core value. I cannot live without cleanliness, say. So that could be my baseline. So I think it is slightly different from core values.
because
Yes, continue,
Jyoti,
Jyoti,
yeah, please.
continue.
Yeah, let's hear from David about baselines and core values. Because once I heard, Arfin, that core values are different from baselines. Baselines is something that you cannot live without.
Core values are also something that you cannot live without.
Yeah, but then it can be in a higher level of the pyramid.
Quality of life. That increases the.
Are we talking about the vibration like one up and one down? So at the middle
Baseline and upper level, it will be core value or something.
I'm not sure, but once I heard Arfin saying that baselines are different from core values.
Mr. David.
Yeah. Your baselines are your DNA. That's how I look at it. And your core values are all the masalas that you put to the DNA, which can be empowering and disempowering. So you now work out what is your baseline. And in a lot of cases, the baseline stems from the heritage, the environment, the family. And so when people try to disassociate from them, there's a lot of internal conflict on that baselines. Separate to that, your core values are based on how you want to perceive certain things and how you value it. Integrity, trust. Now, to me, when a person, I cannot stand a person who cannot stick by their word. Now, that irritates the hell out of me. But on the other side, I also cannot stand, like what Jyoti was saying, uncleanliness, because my head gets clogged up. I need clarity of thinking. So for me to get clarity of thinking, I need to be able to walk through a room. It's got to be clean. I got to see things all put out away. Otherwise, my head just gets clogged up. So that baseline is embedded in me. Can you see the difference?
Yes. So what is the right
age? And as Afin said, and probably even if you look at some of the books on core values, you will see there are hundreds of them. There are hundreds of core values.
So at what level of school this should be a subject?
This should not even, see, I don't even look at it from a school, Rajiv. I look at it as a second nature, building the child from the time the child is born.
Yeah.
So this is the responsibility of parents then?
Parents.
Yes.
Well, I give you something. Before our kid was born, before Shani was born, my daughter, my first child, we were talking to her while she was in the womb.
Yes.
Now, many people were wondering, this is 30, she's coming 30 this month. So 30 years ago. So everybody was saying, what are you trying to do? You're giving black magic? I said, no, I'm just following some of the principles I was taught. So now that kid is so giving. She will go out of her way to do anything for anybody.
Yes.
She would drive another city to pick a person up and do whatever is required. Now, where did she get that? Did we have to teach her that? No, she just saw. In the same way, when she wanted, both my wife and I are not athletic, but when she understood that value of how to get that, she then applied that in her other areas. She's a top gymnastics. She's top in soccer. She's top athlete. She's top swimmer. Won all the gold medals till high school. And now, how did she get all of that? She just role modeled those people, but she applied the principles that was taught to her how to give, which we taught her. So once you teach one value system or one principle, it percolates into the other areas. And most people don't realize this. This is not a textbook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't work that way.
Yes. Absolutely.
So parents also learning core values by practice. So same thing is cultivated in children. So it will not be more or less compared to parents. It cannot be more than parents, or it can be more than parents by friends and schools.
I'll just share a small this thing that when we were small, my parents used to share that, never take anybody's even 1 rupee because you'll have to turn it back 100 folds.
100 times.
So like these ideas were planted in our heads when we were small. So automatically the idea of integrity and truthfulness was there. So I'll just share like core values as we study in yoga, we call it yamas and niyamas, do's and don'ts. So these are ahimsa, not to harm other people, satya, truthfulness, not lying, asteya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, to live your life in balance, aparigraha, don't be greedy. So these are basic rules, values which take care of broadly all the categories.
Yeah, I mean, and this increases the quality of life. See,
and these 5-6 values are the core values which comes from the family itself, not necessarily in the school.
Yeah.
So then what is the point of changing school curriculum? We started with this, that we need to teach this in the school.
How many families will teach their children all this? Tell me.
No,
How many
I have a crisis situation now. Like I have been doing all this with my child, but lockdown has suddenly, toppled the whole thing.
Yes.
Yes, like I mentioned yesterday, she had an issue with kids. So a child 2 years younger than her has been bullying her, and just under peer pressure, she's just succumbing to it. Forgetting all her values and all. So today's children are different. So I really need help in this area. So in spite of having all the values in place, everything in place, still she is getting scared of the surrounding.
Jyoti, you should get to that child, talk to her, bring her over to with your daughter, make them play, and then make her see how much better it is when you're a friendly and etc. You have to teach her a little bit, and she will learn. Believe me,
She goes out of the way to be with those kids who they don't have manners, they are ill-mannered, they are using bad language. I never kept a maid for her, fearing that she'll pick up their language and all. And here the kids are using rubbish language, using abusive words, which she ends up picking up. So yesterday some like-minded mothers, we just gathered and we were discussing, to somehow to empower them so that they are cut off from that set of kids.
we have a saying: set a thief to catch a thief. So you take, when your mothers get together and get all the children together, and who's the biggest bully, make them the leader of the whole lot.
He's already a leader. Biggest bully is already a leader.
Oh.
Bully will always become leader first.
Not necessarily. Because they are sidelined is when they try to come forward by bullying. Different characteristics. Then find out what's the child's home background like.
Let us take one more question. Is these core values are taught by parents.
Yeah.
But is it different for different religions also? It has something to do with religion. Core values core values are same for all religions.
Yes. It's the same for all religions.
So it has nothing to do with the religion.
No.
It has nothing to do with the school. So it has to be parent driven.
Religion and spirituality is different. So spiritually all religions are same, but when it comes to fundamentalist ideas, there the problem is there.
Yeah, but fundamentalism does not change the core values.
No.
If you remember, one of the things I mentioned very early in this wealth program was the key element between religions. Most people pray to different gods. Now they think that that's it. But the bottom line in all religions, whether you take a Gita, whether you take the Bible, whether you take the Quran, or any of the religious books, you will find the fundamental spiritual values that it portrays are identical, ditto.
Exactly.
across all of them.
Yep.
Now, when that is in place, what you then look at is the man-made labels of religion is caused by, within inverted commas, the people that Jyoti is just referring to, bullies, in my view. Now, I'm not saying they're bad bullies. Some of them are good and they've got their heart put in the right place. Some aren't. So you now, as a person that's believing in that particular religion, need to identify those, within inverted commas, bullies. They are in all religions. And unfortunately, what happens is people are not strong enough to withstand that bullying.
Yeah.
And that's where the challenge lies.
The mind gets closed then. They are stuck
That's
there.
right. That's right, Jyoti.
So how do, when now we have come to the conclusion that core values are family driven. So is building wealth is also family driven?
Not necessarily.
Ah.
I
Any
give you
other-
an example.
Yes.
I'm throwing examples because unfortunately I've had the privilege of working with so many guys that come from the third nations, I call them, displaced regional dialect speaking, whether they're Hindi, Telugu, or Tamil students. But the parents are poverty stricken. One guy, his father owned what I call a potikade. Now, a potikada in South India is equivalent, I think, one of the guys with the Hindi language translated it for me, a pawn shop, smaller than a pawn shop. Now, he has ended up becoming, because of his shift in mind, working with mentors, today he is in charge of the third largest bank in Düsseldorf, Germany. Now, we had worked programs with him. We had developed a vision board on what he's going to work out. 2010, he met me in London and we worked out his strategy. He missed out on becoming the president of the bank, primarily because he had two contenders going, and one of them, he felt he didn't want to conflict in the core values because he was a hard cutthroat person who was prepared to sacrifice anything to get what he wanted in the job. So he let him have it. He moved on and he's based in Singapore now. The same guy. He comes from a very, very poor family. Today, his family is uplifted primarily because of how he has channeled his wealth to help them.
So it is the education which changed his mindset, or it is the wisdom he had from mentors?
The association power.
Yeah.
Association with mentors.
He was one of the guys that was a drunk going to Pondicherry, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So it's a both. It's having a right mentor at the right time, plus means like whatever he has been able to go to that position where he can have where he can employ mentors.
Yeah, but you see also Rajiv and the rest in the team, you also got to understand the mentor doesn't do magic, you know. You've got to have, I call it in Tamil Nadu, you have to have, by the way, what does hunger in Hindi mean?
Hunger means bhook.
The fire.
Gook.
Fire.
The fire,
in
the
you.
gook, yeah. Okay, I used to tell the people in South India, you have to have the pasti, that is the gook.
That is Tamil. Tamil is
Only
fine.
when you have the gook in your stomach can you come up in life. And this guy was showing that. You know, he was so hungry, he would just hang out. Wherever we went, he would come in and he'd join us in all conversations. He'd sacrifice family events, he'll sacrifice functions at the price of being in that environment. Now you tell me which guy, I want you to take this in the right context. Which guy who gets transferred to Europe and he knows I'm working in London for a project with John Grinder, he rings me up and he says, David, I'll buy your ticket to fly you up to Zurich. And can you spend one weekend with me to chart out my plan of action for the next 5 years? And I said, I'm sorry, Vish, I can't afford the time. He said, can I come? Would you afford lunch with me? And I said, I'll spend lunch with you. So he flew down to London. He was in Düsseldorf. He flew down to London, We organized a Chinese restaurant. The first thing he did was he walked into the restaurant with a rolled, you know how the drafting paper people have, the drafting paper for a building construction. He had that under his arm. And he came to the restaurant, he moved all the most Chinese restaurants, they've got this soft bottles in the center. He moved all of that aside to the next table. He unrolled this paper and he put 4 things in the corner, 4 bottles in the corner. And he said, this is it. Tell me what I got to do.
Wow.
So this
Now,
is the passion, level of passion you need to have if you want to get something from the mentors. It's not necessary mentor will give you everything. You have to have a hunger to get it.
you have to ask. Exactly.
Fire
You
in the
have to
belly.
ask. Correct. So
I
what
should
do
write
we-
a book about all these stories, you know?
Yeah.
You should.
What do we get out of this today? Give me one takeaway on thinking and one takeaway on behavior of a rich person, of
Core
becoming wealthy.
values to be taught in the families, in the schools, in wherever it's possible to put it into them. You know, that's one of the things. Unless we put those values into these kids early in life, it's of no use. Only if they become, like you said, if they have the fire in their belly later, then
Yes.
they may go ahead. But that's not the whole population, is it?
So one is core value. One takeaway is core value should be very strong and there should be sufficient hunger in everybody to become wealthy. Then wealthy or successful person or getting wisdom.
Hang around such people.
Other is the byproduct. Wealth is the byproduct.
Yep.
Anything else?
Showing them their power, about mindset and all.
Knowing their power.
Yeah.
Okay.
People don't even know.
Yeah, themselves. And they don't know how much they are capable of.
Correct. Knowing their power. And also knowing their limitation is also very important. Unless you know your limitation, you cannot remove them. And he has to understood his limitations on in life, which is not allowing him to grow up or become wealthy. His limitations, sometimes limitations are always placed by yourself. Is not placed by system or by people or by family or by parents. It is always like you limit your thinking to a stage where beyond that you don't want to think even. You have some misconception in mind that beyond this is not possible. So you stop thinking very near to your what you have. So widen the thinking. Thinking power should be widened, and you should try to learn what others rich people are doing or what other wealthy people are doing, and till you become that, you act like that. So fake it till you make it. But what you need to remove in limitations and what to improve in your what to empower and what to remove in limitations. If your limitations are removed, you will become powerful. You will get more empowered. Result is the same. Anything else? Risk, knowledge of risk. Knowledge of risk and applying it, how and where you need to take risk, where you can go with the risk is also very important in life. It is not necessarily risk relating to money. It is risk in asking question. It is risk in taking steps. It is risk in taking actions. So everything will translate into wealth, but is very important in life is to whatever you do, you should do calculatedly and take risk wherever necessary. And take risk which is not putting your life in danger. So I think we can conclude Power Leap now next 15 minutes, we can have some contribution towards any power leap or any questions you have. And we can see, I will make a group where we can interact with each other. So any suggestion on improving mastermind delivery or any point you like in the mastermind? I want your views in 1 minute, 2 minutes.
I mean, in 1 minute, 2 minutes, you want full views.
Not full views,
Of
one view each.
12 masterminds. You see, first of all, let me congratulate you
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you have completed 12
Completed.
power leaps. I think in my knowledge, this is the first mastermind where I see 12 power leaps has been completed.
Yes.
And second is, it has been very informative, very knowledgeable,
very.
and very enlightening. And with the participation of David, Monica, Isha, and all this, Jyoti, a lot of insights have got developed. However, it is on us to implement the things. David says, implement it.
That's
So
right.
the implementation is very important. And in the process, I talked about crypto and all that. I tried to put that link here also. I don't know if some people have gone through the process, and if anybody wants further, guidance, suggestion, or help in that, I'm ready to give in area of crypto and NFTs. And definitely, if we need any help for stock market, Rajiv will come back to you on this because you are master at it. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for
Thank you, Mr. Pandey.
all
Yes,
the.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
very, very much.
Very
Any
much. It
other,
is-
any other contribution, George? I expect 1 minute from you also.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Ajib. This is something great. I think we started on 25th of November, this one, and now 12 weeks so fast. Very useful. I learned a lot of things, and maybe I need more, advice from you. I will just definitely contact you and let us work together. And the only thing is that the group, keep this group like this, and we will interact whatever that comes. That will be mutually beneficial. Am I right?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate your initiative in making these things a very good success to each one of you. Thank you very much. May God bless you
Very
and
good.
others too.
Thank you, Jyoti ji.
Thank you so much, Rajiv ji, for taking out so much time for us and enlightening us on different topics and subjects. Everything was very new to me, so a lot of learning. And once I start my journey with FDs, I'll keep bothering you. Ab kya karu? Ab kya karu?
Sure.
So next step, I'll keep asking you.
We will interact more when you need some help.
But Raji, what I admire most is how you ran this mastermind. Because every time we diverted and went astray, you brought it back. You brought it right back on track, and we continued. Nowhere did we waste any time. You managed to keep that all within the time limit and bringing it back to this thing. And that's a good thing for a CEO at a board meeting or something like that. So you would make a good CEO somewhere.
Thank you, Isha ji. I was CEO,
That's what I'm saying.
Chief Operating Officer of United Nations for more than 15 years.
Yeah, but having meetings and conducting it the way it should be done,
Correct,
is something else.
Correct. Thank you, Isha ji. Monica ji.
Yeah, I've known Rajiv sir ever since, we were doing our recordings for the mastermind. And we never had to do much of work. He used to tell us, this is what you have to do. This is number one, this is number two, this is the time duration, this is what you must be saying. So let us start the recording. Any questions? So that used to make it so simple for us. He was such a guiding force. And that actually motivated me to join his mastermind. I said, it's definitely going to be something very, very special. And I learned a lot. Thank you so much. I learned a lot to run the mastermind also from you. And as I said, I've always been saying that I've been a non-finance person in the sense that not very conscious of the way the money should be handled. But I've already started becoming very conscious of the expenses, of the investments, of the shares where I have. A few weeks ago, I did not even know where my insurances are kept. And my husband is not too well, something that I needed very badly. Now I know where my insurances are. So all this, the conditioning of mind has taken place because of the powerful group that you created. So thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica ji.
Thank you.
Mr. David.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Rajiv. As I said in my message earlier, and that was not to point at anyone, but to make it understand and understood and applied by everyone. Mentoring and coaching is a privilege, and it should not be taken for granted. And one of the key things that comes out of this is you spearheaded this very well, exceptionally well, to run through 12 weeks as outlined in the mastermind, the particular topic. But during the course of the 12 weeks you're working through with different people, it showed how diligently, you are patient and ensured that outcomes were generated despite what individuals' thought patterns were, to ensure that an outcome was put in place and that outcome was achieved at the end of the day. So I give a lot of credit for that and really learned a lot from that. One of the other things that I really would love to sort of share is the openness that you created for the group to communicate as freely, because sometimes based on the key person, the moderator, a lot of people could hold back and reservations could be put in place, and therefore the true essence of what a mastermind should be does not come through. And you were able to steer that for the group, and thereby allowing a transparent discourse amongst everyone and come up with the outcome that was set. So credit goes to you for that, and really appreciate your support and help. And we have spoken a number of times offline, and I shared my thoughts back then too. One of the key things also that I would like to sort of address is, despite being dislocated from Africa to here, to India, not here, I mean India, it's how well you have assimilated and supported that for the rest of the group is a huge credit to you and your experience. Once again, thank you so much, Rajiv. We'll be in touch. We'll also keep in touch, but please have the WhatsApp group, as we said, keep going.
Yes.
So we can keep in touch and, everyone can benefit from it. Once again, thanks to you a lot, pal. Ciao for now.
Thank you, Mr. David. Thank you, everyone. I would love to respond to as many as questions on any power leap or connected to any financial issues. It is personal finance or business finance. I can talk on any of the subjects and respond to questions. So I will be more than happy to answer any questions raised in this group. However, nobody is raising questions.
We are still evolving.
Yes. So,
we are still evolving.
What I will do is I will start asking some questions. If you will not respond by the end of the day, I will start answering also. So that will help you to understand questions and answers.
Rajiv,
Q&A. I will be getting in touch with you, the kind of shares which I have. Where do I need to reinvest?
Definitely.
If-
We do that.
Rajiv, have you in your travels been to a lake where you have seen ducks on the lake waddling through? Have you seen that?
So many, Kenya is a place where you can see Nakuru, where this big lake is there.
Right. See, everybody is in that same environment. The ducks are always so serene up there, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, as though nothing is troubling them. But
Very
you can
true.
bet your bottom dollar, if you look underneath, the legs
Underneath.
are paddling so hard.
Yes.
So everyone is paddling hard to get all this knowledge and put it together so they can come back with questions. What strategy do I take? So that's what's happening here.
The only thing is sometimes you are not able to frame questions to be asked. You
Right.
know the problem, but you are not able to frame the right questions.
Yes, yes.
So that is the only point. So let us do something. Either you ask questions or I will ask questions. Then we see how we bring our knowledge together.
Meanwhile, I will request our coach David to induct you in his mastermind as well, Rajiv.
Definitely. I will join that mastermind.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You feel it's good?
Yes,
It's got
yes.
value.
I just had an idea, like
If you have still space there, I can join.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
David
Sure.
sir, David sir, my name is not there in the group. I did not even get the joining link.
come, Monica, come. राजीव जी आप भी आइए.
I will come.
David, but you know, remember, David is a taskmaster.
Yes.
Yes. We will learn a lot from him.
Hello, I'm not as bad as Adolf Hitler, okay?
See, I have only used the word taskmaster. I have not used any other. See, if there is a task, if you don't do it, then you will have it.
Oh God.
So I was just sorry.
No, go on, Jyoti.
Yes, Jyoti.
So I was just considering the idea that if we still have time and if we could stretch it further, we could consider studying the books, just like David had suggested earlier, marking those books and putting the ideas in head and absorbing all the concepts on wealth building and all.
Correct.
You see, probably rather than having such a diverse range of books, Rajiv, if you can recommend one all-rounder wealth book,
okay,
that would have a blend of the behavioral aspects and some technical things in there.
Okay.
And by having that, we then pick one chapter, not the whole book, one chapter or even half a chapter, and study and read and discuss. Then we move on to the next. It's actually drilling down. And that's what I was taught with the book. How many of you have read a book called Master Key to Riches by Napoleon Hill?
Kind of.
Okay.
I have gone through. I have gone through also that full book of success.
Okay, the
Big
Success
book.
Academy of his. Yeah.
Yes.
I was not. That is an exceptionally good book. But the Master Key to Riches, something that stuck in my head so much. I don't know if I shared this with you. But when Jack Dory asked us to do it, I was highlighting it. By the time I finished the fourth reading, the whole book was highlighted.
Yes.
So you miss out so much. Yeah. So when you suggest a good book, like a wealth book, let us go through and study chapter by chapter or half a chapter or 10 pages or whatever, nominate, and then study that and then come and discuss that.
Very good. I will do that. So also I will start creating one more mastermind where now I will be more specific on stock analysis.
Okay.
So where I will go through the charting system and then we select a particular stock and study about that, so that it's like a simulation. If you can study one stock with the same charts and patterns, you can study any stock.
Right. I think that would be a great idea, Rajiv, because people will at least understand, learn. There are various charts and how support and resistance have to be read there, and how chart has to be analyzed and how to take a decision based on the chart, or so that would be a good idea. I think if you start taking, it will be another mastermind, and for us, continuity.
Yes. So whosoever is interested, I will add him into that group. So there I can have more members from like other social media, face group, wherever it comes.
So you want to change from the STF group. Now this is purely
Yes,
from
yes.
the
This was
STF and
purely
all that.
STF and my learning.
Okay. Okay.
Now I want to give more on my learning, how I am applying this into share market. I want other peoples to apply also.
We are always going to be there, buddy, with you,
Sure,
any
sure,
mastermind if you
We
want.
will add you.
Okay.
Definitely. Any other suggestion or any other input? Otherwise, we can close for today.
That's really good.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining me. We will be in touch.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Bye.
day. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you
Keep in
next
touch,
time.
please. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.